Good morning, children. Welcome to 7th standard. Today we are going to begin the new lesson, the first lesson of your 7th standard. Before that, we shall just go back as a review into your old classes. In your 5th standard, you have learnt about plants, isn't it? In your 6th standard also, you have learnt about different types of plants. What all have you learnt? Yes, in 5th standard, you have learnt about different types of vegetables, how they grow, their vegetative propagation, and all those things you have learnt in 5th standard. And 6th standard, what have we learnt? We have learnt different types of flowers, how they produce fruits, and all those things, isn't it? Now this lesson of 7th standard is a continuation of your 5th and your 6th. So the name of the lesson is Reaping Gold from Soil. What is the meaning of reaping gold from soil? Reaping means getting or taking gold from soil. So we know soil is connected with plants and cultivation. So what is the meaning of reaping gold? From the soil, we can reap gold. How can we reap gold? What is the meaning of that? Yes, that means getting food for our need from the soil. The soil gives us food, isn't it? The plants gives us food. So in this lesson, we are going to learn in detail about the different types of vegetative propagation and how we can produce good yield and good type of vegetables and different types of seeds for the plants and for our food. Okay. So in the beginning of the lesson in your textbook, you can see a picture there about some children are doing cultivation, isn't it? So happily the children are doing cultivation. We know we are all at home, we are under lockdown, isn't it? And what are we doing there? Most of us are having our own vegetable garden at home, isn't it? Even if we have a small pot, we are doing cultivation at home. We are trying to make our own vegetables for our daily needs. So here also you can see the different children cultivating, isn't it? So happily they are doing. So in our school, in our home also, we have vegetable garden, isn't it? So how do we maintain it? Yes, do we always get a good yield out of it? Do we always get a good yield out of it? We don't know, isn't it? Does it yield always? Now here the boy is going on telling the pumpkin vine that I sprouted in the own backyard in the kitchen was ready to spread. I made a furrow around it and manured it and watered it. It grew well but yielded only 2 or 3 pumpkins. We always see, sometimes we buy the pumpkin, we eat it and we throw it out. And the pumpkin grows, it just spreads out everywhere. But we can see that always it doesn't give us a good yield. Sometimes we get 1 or 2 or 3 pumpkins. That's all we get out of it. Why does this happen? Why do you think it does not produce proper amount of fruit? So we know nurturing alone is not enough. What is the meaning of nurturing? Taking care of the plant is not only enough for it to give us a good yield. We know we put manure, we put water, we pour water, we take care of it, isn't it? Still, sometimes some plants do not give us a good yield. Why is it so? There are other factors also which has to be taken into consideration. Not only the plant is enough, not only manure and water is enough, but there are other factors also which we have to take into consideration. What are those other factors? Yes, you can see here, it's in the textbook, fertile soil. The soil should be fertile. Then the climate should be favorable. Always we don't have a proper climate for the growth of all types of plants. Okay, so we should have a favorable climate, we should have fertile soil, and also the quality of the planting material should be good. The quality of the planting material should be good. What is the planting material? Whether the seed or whether the stem, what we use to grow plants or grow vegetables should be of good quality. So, which are the factors which are essential for us to get a good yield? Not only minerals and water is sufficient, but we should have fertile soil, favorable climate, and quality seeds and planting materials. So we know we don't have the same type of vegetative propagation for all, isn't it? Sometimes we sow a seed, sometimes we grow a branch or a piece of a stem, isn't it? So the quality seed or planting material is needed. Now, how can we know about the seed quality? How can we know about the seed quality, whether it is good or not? Usually what do? We have certain plants at home. For example, chili. What do? We know after some time that plant will die off. So we need seeds, isn't it? So what do? We keep 2 or 3 fruits on that and wait for it to become ripe and dry, and we take and keep the seed, isn't it? But are all the seeds which we get from the plant of good quality? Is it suitable for farming? We know that the pumpkin, isn't it, that we took in the kitchen, we threw it out, it became a nice plant, it spreads everywhere, but it does not give much fruit. 2 or 3 we get. Why is it so? Yes, it is because the quality of the seed is not enough. I cannot say it's not good. It is not enough, isn't it? So we realize that all the seeds may not have the same quality. So, even we take the seeds, what should be taken into consideration? We know all the seeds are not of the same quality, or it will not be of good quality. Now, look at this picture here. Here you can see a lady's finger plant, isn't it? Pictures of 2 ladies' finger plant. One lady's finger, you can see good fruits there. The other one you can see faded and down, and it's not looking very good. So one, you know, it is a healthy plant, isn't it? The other one we know it is a diseased plant. It's having some sickness. Plants also have diseases. So it's having this. So can we take the seeds from both the plants for producing another new plant? We know, isn't it? We can't take it, because what will happen? If you take the seed of the second one which is having some disease, we know it will not produce quality fruit. It will not produce quality fruit. But take the other plant which is healthy. If we take the seeds of all of that plant, will we get good quality yield? We don't know, isn't it? We know that plant is very good, but can we collect all the seeds all the time which is produced on that? We don't know. So just go through this and see. There is a box given there. Okay, a flow chart is given there. Plants from which seeds are collected. Seeds must be collected from the mid-span. What is the meaning of that? We know quality seeds are essential for the growth of plant. So here 2 boxes are empty there. One box already it is written there. Quality seeds must be collected from fruits which are formed in the mid-span. That means a plant, when it grows, it has early span, mid span and the later span. That is, the beginning of, as soon as it grows up, it starts producing seeds. So if you take the seeds at the earlier time, the first one, fruits which are formed, if you take the seeds, it will not be of the good quality. What is the meaning of mid-span? In between, when the plant has grown up and it is starting yield somewhere in the middle of its lifespan. If you collect those seeds will be of the good quality. Why can't it be the later stages of the plant? Because the plant is going to die. So if you take the later stages, what will happen? That will not also give us a good yield. So which type of seeds should be taken from the plant to make a planting material of a future to get a good yield of good quality plants? We must always collect the seeds from the mid span of the plant. The plant has got a lifespan, like all other organisms have. Plant has got a lifespan. So we know some plants, it will stay only for 3 months or 6 months or for 1 year. Okay, if it is tomato and all that, we know it will stay only for about 6 months or at the most 1 year. So the mid-span will be, if it is 1 year plant which dies off within 1 year, the mid-span will be after 6 months when you take the seeds. That is the mid-span of that plant. So the seeds should be always collected from the mid-span of a plant which can give you a good yield. Now, 2 other stages are left there, isn't it? What can be there? Seeds from which plant should be collected? We know one is mid-span, the other one is good quality plant. The seed should be collected, isn't it? From which seeds should be collected? Good quality plant. And next one, what can it be? Think about it and complete that table. Think about it and complete that table. Now, we know we can collect, isn't it? Now, it is easy to collect good quality seeds from plants like lady's finger, then pea, all those things we know we have at home, isn't it? It is easy to collect, we know, if we dry, break, open it. Now, there are certain fruits from which it is difficult to collect seeds. Which are those vegetables? Can you tell me? Yes, tomato, brinjal, chilli. Yes, think nicely. Amaranthus. The others you think and find out. Okay. So these plants, why is it difficult for us to collect the seeds? Yes, we know that there will be lot of seeds in that. So it is difficult for us to take the good quality seeds out of it, isn't it? So what is the way of getting a good plant out of it? What do? What the farmers do is they just sow it everywhere. They make a particular place and sow it everywhere. Everyone will, all the plants will sprout out. The seeds will sprout out. But some will be very small. Some will be growing very nicely and very fresh. We know when we look at the good quality plant, we know. So some of them will grow very nicely. So what do? They select the plants which grow well and they replant it. So how can you collect seeds from such type of like amaranthus and chili and all that? They sow all the seeds and the good plants out of it. They select, take and replant it. That is how sowing, and that is called as sowing and sprouting. So we sow, we sprout, out of the sprouted ones, we collect the good ones and we replant it so that we will get good quality plants. So now what are we to do here? Find out which are the other different types of vegetables in which there are many seeds and which we can do in such a way, and classify them and write it down in the science note. What are we to write down here? Find out the plants in which we can take the seeds directly and sow it. Find out the plants in which we have to sprout it and select the good ones. Okay, and categorize it and make a table, draw it and complete the table there. Okay, now we know that we sow seeds. isn't it? And we use seeds, and also we use stem cuttings, isn't it? Stem cuttings. So we know that from the seed, when last year we learned that the flower forms a fruit. From the fruit we get the seed, and the seed brings out a baby plant. What type of reproduction is it? That is called as sexual reproduction. When the formation of seedlings are from seeds, it is called as sexual reproduction. It is called as sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? From the seeds, when new plants grow, that is called as sexual reproduction. But in certain types of plants, we don't use sexual reproduction. Every plant we cannot grow through the seed. So what do? We take the stem cutting, or we take the root, or we plant a leaf. You have already learned that in 5th standard, isn't it? Some plants we sow the seeds. Some plants we take the root. Some plants we take the stem. And some plants we take the leaf. So the formation of new plantlets from plant parts like root or stem or leaf, that is called as vegetative propagation. What is it called as? Vegetative propagation. Okay. So what is sexual reproduction? From the seeds, when you get seedlings, plants, that is called as sexual reproduction. And what is vegetative propagation? When we get plantlets from either root or stem or leaf, it is called as vegetative propagation. So what are we to do now? In your textbook, there is already a table given there. You have a table given there. Okay. For example, they have given you tapioca, sweet potato are cultivating by planting the stem cuttings. Find out more examples for plants formed through sexual reproduction and vegetative propagation. So draw this table, write down the plants which is produced through sexual reproduction, and find out the names of the plants that is produced through vegetative propagation. So this work you have to do and write down what is sexual reproduction and what is vegetative propagation in your notebook. Okay. Okay. So now here we saw there are two types of ways in which we can produce a new plant. One is sexual reproduction, other one is vegetative propagation. Now, suppose we try to make a plant from its parent tree itself. Can we make the branches to have roots from the parent plant itself? Can we do that? Now here I am showing you a method. That is, a branch of a tree is taken. It is scraped and it is covered with enough coconut. We call it as chegrichore, isn't it? That is coconut husk powder and little bit of soil, and you cover the branch with that, and then cover it with a polythene, give enough of water, and then what happens after a few days? Small roots come out from that plant. So what can we do? We cut that portion, and if we plant it, it turns into a new plant. There will be numerous roots which is sprouting out. So here you can see in this video. So here this is a chiku tree. Okay, now I am going to just show the procedure of layering. Once the roots have sprouted out, then later I will show you. So here I am taking a very thin branch. That is, the branch of the plant should be only pencil thin. So look at this branch. I am taking only a very thin branch. Now I am just scraping out the outer covering of this branch here. A small portion. I am just scraping out the outer covering here. I have scraped out the outer covering. I hope you can see this. So I have scraped out the outer covering. Now I have a mixture of soil and coconut husk here with me. I have put lot of water and made it very moist, because once we cover it, then we cannot add water, we cannot give water to this. So I have taken a mixture of little bit of soil and coconut husk. Now I am covering this area. And then covering it with the plastic paper, so the moisture will stay inside itself here. Now I've covered it in such a way that the soil does not come out. I don't have a twine, so I'm taking another piece of twine here. Now this one end I have tied here. Now I am tying this end too. So this moist thing is here. Now we have covered it. Now we will leave it for few days or 2 or 3 weeks, and then we will see whether the roots have sprouted out. Then once the roots sprout out, we can cut from here and plant it as a new plant. So this method is called as layering. So what is shown there? From the parent plant itself, you take a very thin branch. You scrape it out, scrape the outer covering, cover it with soil and coconut dust with enough of water, cover it with a polythene bag, tie both the sides and allow it to be there for few days. After few days, when you remove out, you can see roots are sprouted out. You can cut that portion and you can grow it as a new plant. This type of vegetative propagation is called as layering. What is it called? It is called as layering. So what is layering? Layering is a method of producing a new plant on the parent plant itself. We allow the plant, we give manure and soil to the branch in such a way that roots sprout out, and it can be taken, cut and used as a new plant. So that method is called as layering. We can do layering in another way also. Here you can see in the picture another method also, that is the branch which is growing out. For example, the branch of a jasmine plant, we can do like this. Okay, that is the branch can be put into the soil, and there it will, the roots will sprout and it can be turned into another plant. So there are two types of layering here. One is on the branch itself, you can make the roots to sprout out. The other one is on the soil, you can bend it and make the plant to sprout out. So this method is called as layering. Now there are few information which is given in the textbook connection with layering. Most of the plants can be grown this way through layering. The plants formed from layering do not have much lifespan as plants formed from seed germination, and they will be smaller in size. So they don't have much lifespan. From the seed means it is the actual sexual reproduction we know. But through layering, when we make a plant, it does not have much lifespan and the plant will be shorter or smaller than the other. But they will have all the qualities of their parent plant. Now if layering is done in a diseased plant, what happens? The new plantlets also will be infected. Then the flowering and the fruiting in such plants, that is plants which is produced through layering, is faster than from the plants which are produced from seeds. Then in this method what we can do? We can produce more sapling within a short period. That is, many branches we have taken do layering, we will get many plants. Okay. Now layering plant, another one. If suppose it is a mango tree, we are doing layering, or a chiku, we are doing layering. All these plants mostly they have tap roots. But when we are producing, producing a new plant through layering, those plants will not have taproot system. They will have only fibrous roots. So they will have only fibrous roots. They will not have tap roots. So they require more care. So one method of vegetative propagation we learned here, isn't it? We have to learn many methods. So what is the one method we learned here? Vegetative propagation, that is layering. So what is layering? Layering is producing a plant on its parent plant itself. So I hope it is very clear for you. Please write this down in your notebook. What is layering? So with this, today's class I am going to end. Thank you, children.